Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the vlog. This is the reading vlog for September 5th through the 12th? September 5th through 11th. I always struggle with what weeks are for what videos. So essentially this is going to be my reading vlog for the week. I'm going to talk about the books that I read, and probably a little bit of updates about my life, YouTube, writing, all of that, because those are like the things that I do. Currently the physical book I start, because I always have a physical book and an audiobook started, but the physical book is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, and I am 165 pages in, or going into chapter 19. So if you want to see my first thoughts on this book in full detail, go check out my last reading vlog. But essentially so far I'm really enjoying this. If you don't know what this book is about, we follow Spencer, who when she was a child, her father was this like pilot, and when he essentially cowered out and got shot down, she got labeled a coward's daughter, and now she wants to join flight school because we are on this alien planet where our people have been stuck and they are facing off with these aliens called the Creel, and essentially you go into pilot school and you become a pilot to face these Creel, and she wants to do this. And currently for this I am going to say there's probably going to be spoilers for this, because this is a book I feel like I can't not spoil. But essentially right now we're at the point where she's at flight school, and that's kind of where we're at so far. So far it feels like a 4-star read, although there is a lot of time to change, and I'm really enjoying this. And then the ebook that I have started is Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRoe, which essentially we follow a ghost hunter who moves back to her hometown and somehow summons a demon, and that demon is a very attractive demon who, how do I word this? That's pretty much all I got for describing it. But I made it to 49%, meaning I read half this book last night. It is so addicting. It is definitely not for the faint of heart. It is 18 plus, full of trigger warnings and sexual content, which also that sexual content has trigger warnings. Do not go into this book lightly, although I will say it's almost not as dark as I thought it would be, and I don't know if that means I'm fucked up in my head or what. But it's 7 o'clock, well, 6:56 if I can read correctly, and I really haven't done much today. We cleaned out the garage a little bit because things are just being shoved in there and we need to organize it. I edited my video, which currently is exporting, and I worked a little bit on my Bookopoly board, because instead of doing my normal Jenga TBR that I've done since, I think it was last May, so May 2020 to August 2020, that's what I normally did for my TBR. But after doing Becca from Becca and the Books Bookopoly-thon, I found out that I loved Bookopoly so much that I'm creating my own, and so I'm currently slowly working at that, because I have pretty much nothing to do with this weekend. But I am going to go ahead and, well, first I'm going to shower. That's what I really need to do. And then I'm going to continue on with Skyward, and I'll let you know how far I get and what my thoughts are as I continue. This vlog probably is long. If you can't tell, I'm trying to make this vlog shorter than my normal ones, although this first clip is probably going to take up a good chunk of the video, so I'll leave this here. So I made it to page 230 of Skyward, and I'm still enjoying it. That's really the only update. Things are slowly being revealed, but I don't really want to go into spoilers. Like, there's something about Spencer's dad that may or may not be true. That's pretty much like one of the big revelations, as well as 2 of her fellow students in her class have died. It's pretty much only update on this book, but I'm going to now crawl into bed. When I say crawl into bed, that means crawl into bed, watch some TikToks, and then read, and then write some of my fantasy story, That's typically what I do at night. That's always my night routine, is TikTok, reading whatever book I'm reading, and then writing my fantasy story. I always write that before bed because I always get the ideas right before bed. So that's the best time to do it. I will probably not update till the morning, and even then it'll probably be closer to noon or afternoon when I actually pick up the camera again. So it's after 4 o'clock on Monday here, and I haven't really done that much. I uploaded a video, did a few things with my spreadsheets, but currently, and then we did something in the garage again because we're still trying to organize that. But currently I am watching Ro from Wandering Through Worlds, her sprints. I'm on it's the last sprint, but I'm going to go ahead and read some more of Skyward. I technically already read about 20 pages in the last sprint, but I didn't vlog until then, so I figured pick up the camera now, and I think I'm either at the halfway mark or I'll be at the halfway mark by the end of this sprint. So like that's good. So I made it to page 305 of this, so over halfway through. And I'm really enjoying it. It's 4 stars. That's I think as far as I can give it. Things are kind of starting to happen. I'm trying to leave this as spoiler free, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And I may or may not be probably going to be purchasing book 2 of this series, and maybe even pre-ordering book 3. I know that book 2 is on Book Outlet, so I might grab it from there because there's another couple books I want to get off of there, and then I have $5 off, so that would cover the shipping because it's only like $5 shipping to me. So like, yeah, because I don't know. I'm trying to not spend all my money on books, especially because me and my friend are going to a movie later this month, and I want to save money for that, so I don't need to ask my parents for the money and all of that, as well as just have some savings. But yeah, this is definitely a book I'm really enjoying. I'm enjoying it probably about the same amount as I thought, if not a little bit more. So it's now going on to 7 o'clock, and I'm going to read more of Skyward. I already talked about what I read about that, so I'm just briefly going to mention my thoughts on Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRoe. I'm giving it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Like, is it the best book in the world? No, but did I thoroughly enjoy it? It has good characters, a good plot. I'm very excited to read more in this world because there's going to be 3 books in total. Her Soul to Take, Her Soul for Revenge, which comes out on October 30th, which I literally plan on reading that weekend probably. And then book 3, and I'm really excited because they're all standalones, but they all take place, I think it's like, in a similar time frame, and like, the main 2 characters in, like, 2 of the characters from Her Soul to Take are the main characters in Her Soul for Revenge, and we saw those 2 and like our characters interacted. I mean, like, the 2 main males in the first 2 books are friends and like all of that, so it's like that kind of story, but it's like, I don't know. I did really enjoy it. 5 stars mainly for enjoyment, and it's definitely one that I have a feeling that I'd someday in the future reread, like all of that. That's kind of just my brief thoughts. Definitely some kinky shit in the book. That was just kind of like, okay, yeah, I think we might have almost taken it a little too far. Probably took it a little too far. But like, yeah, that's pretty much like all I have to say, but I'm going to continue on with some more Skyward, even though I've already read like 70 some pages I think today. I'm going to try to read a little bit more just to kind of like try to get that finished maybe by like Wednesday, Thursday-ish. I don't really know. And then I will talk a little bit about the ebook that I plan on starting afterwards. So not really much to update on with Skyward. I made it to page 351. So yeah, I'll probably be able to get this finished by Wednesday if I don't keep on dropping the book. But the ebook that I'm going to start is Gods and Monsters by Shelby Muhren. Originally, I had this physical copy requested from my library, but there's no update on when that's going to ship, and I kind of don't want to read anything else on my TBR. I kind of really even don't want to read Gods and Monsters, but I know it's one that I will enjoy, so I'll read it. Well, for example, I technically do want to read The Well of Ascension, but I don't want two Brandon Sanderson books started at the same time. It's a weird thing. I hate having two books by the same author going, especially if one's physical and one's ebook, and if one's one genre and one's another. It's just a whole thing. But Gods and Monsters is the third and final book in the Serpent and Dove trilogy, where I can't really explain, obviously. Well, I can explain book one, which is essentially we have a witch and a witch hunter who fall into an arranged marriage. Not an arranged marriage, but they fall into they have to get married, and it's the enemies to lovers and all of that. And I can't really explain much about book two, obviously, except the ending broke me. I don't like to think about it. And so for Gods and Monsters, I'm a little bit scared because it's been over a year, or when did I read Blood and Honey? I think it was like this time a year ago. I'm literally like looking at Goodreads like, yeah, I read it beginning of September, so about a year ago. So everything is kind of a little bit blurred up here. Like, I remember enough to obviously not have to reread the first two. But I feel like a few things are just going to be a little like, oh yeah, that happened. So that's what I'm going to start. I also am going to write more of my fantasy book later, and that's pretty much all. Tomorrow is a day. I have to work. I'll just talk a lot about that in the morning. I'll try to remember to pick up the camera in the morning. I won't make any promises, but yeah. So it's already after 6 o'clock, and I haven't really vlogged. Nothing's really happening reading-wise, but I will update on Gods and Monsters. I made it to 18% in, and let's say I'm a little bit confused, but I'm liking where it's going, and I feel like it's only going to be a 4-star because of not reading the first two books before reading this one. Like I read them, but like last year. But right now, I am currently baking cupcakes for my little cousin's birthday. I got put in charge of baking the cupcakes for his birthday on Thursday, so I'm starting that. And in between, like, the cupcakes being in the oven, I'm currently going through and trying to figure out an editing process for my book, because I need to start editing it here in the next few days, like start it at least, or do like read-throughs. I don't really know. I'm trying to figure out everything. So that's currently where I'm at. I'll let you know as more progresses, I guess. So I made it to page 411 of Skyward, and things are kind of starting to progress. Spencer is continuing to learn things about her dad, and I don't know. I really don't know my thoughts on this. I'm probably going to save the rest of my thoughts until I finish it, which I will be finishing it tomorrow because I have about 90 some pages left, which I can do that tomorrow. Cupcakes are finished baking, and yeah, that's pretty much calling it for the night for everything. I'm going to make some food and then start reading more Gods and Monsters, I guess. Pardon the dark lighting, but I just was too lazy to turn on my computer, which I normally use for the lighting. I am going to be temporarily DNFing Gods and Monsters. It's like I'm loving the story. Like, for example, dragons were just introduced. But like, you know how I said, oh, I think I remember enough to continue on perfectly fine? No, I don't. So I think I need to reread the first two books and then continue on with this. Just because I'm not, like, for example, there's two characters that the names sound familiar, but I couldn't tell you a single fact about them. And I didn't even remember their names until it was on page, and then I was like, oh yeah, I recognize those names, but I don't remember what that was even with another character. But I kind of I remembered who she was a lot quicker. But I just again, it's like I really do like I'm enjoying this, but I totally forget like the magic system and all of the side characters and like the different, like I don't know. I just don't know. I'm DNFing it now. I made it to chapter. Let me check. I have my iPad here, which is what and then the Kindle app. I made it to the chapter called Another Grave, because these chapters aren't labeled, which is 15, 16 chapters, or 22%. I don't know what that is on the actual thing, because my, I don't know, it's not showing me, for some reason. But I'm just, like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not gonna like it, because I don't remember much. So, yeah, I'm going to temporarily DNF, and maybe pick it up later this year if I can fit the, because I think I might just wait, hold off, and then just one of these months try to fit all 3 books on my TBR and just binge read them. I feel like that would be the best option. So that's what I think I might do. But I'm unsure. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm not going to start another book tonight. I might actually start, I have a book that I have to beta read. Where is it? Fairy Fallen by Carol Beth Anderson. I need to start beta reading that, because the feedback is due on the 20th of this month, so I might actually read the first, like, chapter or 2 of that instead, and things are popping up. So yeah, I might do that. I'm, like, sad that I'm, like, you get what I'm saying, because I'm sad that I'm DNFing it for now, especially because it was one of my Bookopoly picks and for the Magical Readathon, so I'm not filling that prompt unless I switch it out for something. But that will be like if I have time at the end of the month. But temporarily DNFing book is fine. I think I will put it on. I think I'll put it on my spreadsheet as not rated, so not a DNF, but a not rated, and then just put the amount of pages that I did read on my spreadsheet, because I'm going to count this to my Goodreads goal, even though I didn't finish. I do count DNFs to Goodreads goals because I always pass them. Like Skyward will be my 150th book. Originally I thought it was going to be Gods and Monsters, but apparently I'm DNFing that sooner. Oops. But that's okay. So I just filmed a kind of writing update. That's my Saturday's video. I was originally supposed to do a Wednesday video earlier this week, but I didn't. There's no video today. I iced cupcakes today. I went to work. I did a English language arts or English, whatever you want to call it, assignment, and my camera keeps on falling. It's like sliding backwards. And my camera battery's dying, actually, fun fact. But I ended up going where we were off last night. I ended up reading 1 chapter of Fairy Fallen, and I did really like it. So I don't know where the last clip ended because, well, camera battery died. I think I was saying something about the book that I'm going to read next, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I just finished Skyward, and I shit you not even a minute after I finished this, I've already placed an order for book 2 from Book Outlet because it's only $12.79, and then I also ordered Unravel Me. That's a side thing. This is getting, I don't know if it's a 4 or a 4.5. I'm leaning towards 4.5. Like, I can't give it a 5-star, but then giving it a 4-star, it's weird. Giving it a 4-star feels wrong. Giving it a 5-star feels wrong. So I think I'm going to give it a 4.5. I will see what it comes out to on Cawpile and then make the final decision. But I think 4.5. I absolutely really love this. There was a few different things in this book that just had me going, I'm sorry, what? But I love that in books. I used to say, oh, I hate sci-fi. But then I've read so many good sci-fis. I say that mainly, the good sci-fis I've read have been, well, this one. This is one of them, but like, I think I'm starting to get into sci-fis. I don't want to say that for certain, but I also may have bought, I just bought this book, like book 2 of this series, and I had to also figure out if I could afford a few other books. I didn't end up being able to, but I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed Spence as a main character. I'm trying to think of what I can say that's not spoilers or anything like that. I love her character journey and just seeing her progress in her ability to become a pilot, and then where that leads to. I can't really say much more because of spoilers. But I will definitely be picking up book 2 probably as soon as it arrives. And then I also am trying to financially figure out if I can afford Cytonic, because that would be a hardcover brand new release, which would be like $25, so I need to figure that out. I don't even remember when Cytonic comes out. But yeah, I've also now realized I do really like Brandon Sanderson as an author, because I've read The Final Empire and then now Skyward. And that kind of leads on to my next ebook, which is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. I'm going from one Brandon Sanderson book to a next, just like how I'm going from one sci-fi, like physical read, to the next. I'll quickly grab the next book that I plan on reading just to kind of explain that, because the next book that I plan on reading was actually originally a read that I was supposed to read in August but didn't, and the loan for it expires in, I think it's a week, so I have a week to read this, and that is Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I'm scared because it's 660 pages. I do have an audiobook of this as well, so I'm gonna like audiobook it and read this. So listening it to at like, I think I read Illuminate at like 1.8 speed, and I had that done within, I had that in a weekend, so I can get this done probably in a week. But yeah, I definitely think I'm getting into sci-fis. But it's 8:40. I'm going to read TikTok for a little bit to kind of clear my head, then start The Well of Ascension. I'd love to get that done, finished by like the end of the weekend, so by like Sunday, but it's 600 and some pages, so I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. But yeah, can't really think of anything else to say, so gonna leave that clip here. So I don't know how well I'm in frame, but originally I wasn't going to film this clip until after I ate, but my computer decided to reset pretty much as soon as I sat down. So this morning, well, first let's talk, I read first 5% of 12th Ascension. Really am enjoying it so far. How much can you say with 5%? Then this morning I read the first 39 pages of Gemina. I just kind of wanted to start it this morning because I was in a really crappy mood, because today marks 1 year since my grandma on my dad's side passed away, so it's been 1 year having no grandparents at all, like no biological grandparents alive. So today's a little bit hard. But I went to work, I read the first 39 pages of this, I'm loving it. Then I went to work. Then my local library was having a book sale, and I was like, oh, let's see if there's anything that I'm interested in. So I went there, and I got 3 books. There was a couple others that I was like kind of interested, but I was like, I actually already have copies of them. I just wanted them because they were different editions. But what I bought was Resist by Sarah Crossan. This is the sequel to Breathe, which I own up there on my sci-fi shelf. So yeah, it was $1. All of these books were $1. Then Graceling by Christian Kishore. I've heard only good things about this, and I figured might as well pick it up. I probably won't start this series until like next year, but still, like, might as well. It had a sticker on it that somebody tried to peel off. Now this next one, I don't know why I got it, because this book was originally a DNF when I read it in May of 2020. And that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This was a DNF. I DNF'd it after about 100 pages maybe. But the only reason I DNF'd it is because A, we were in the height of lockdown stress and all of that. And also, I read this book right after I finished A Court of Mist and Fury for the first time, which that is my all-time favorite fantasy book. So I think I was in like a mini reading slump because of that. That's why I DNF'd this. And it was $1, so I was like, worst comes to worst, I try to reread it. I absolutely hate it. It was $1. And then we also grabbed Burger King because I didn't want to make food. So yeah, now I just need to find somewhere to put Graceling and The Night Circus, because that goes on that shelf over there. Don't mind the cup. There's like no space on that shelf, and I already have book 2 in the Shadow Me series coming through Book Outlet. That also goes on that shelf. And then I have Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, but that goes on my sci-fi shelf, which there's still a few spots left. But yeah, that's kind of the day so far. Later this afternoon, I'm going to be going, I think, with my cousin to do a few things to finish setting up for her son's birthday, which is tonight, which we're going to. It's at 6:30 at a local park, and it's just going to be like a fun thing. So I just got back from my little cousin's birthday party, and it's 8:30 because it started at 6:30. And one of my cousins, so technically it's my second cousin, but another one of my second cousins was there, and I wasn't expecting her to be, and I've been driven insane by her. So point aside, I had fun. There was the cupcakes that I made. There was like drink. There was a pinata and all of that. One thing though that like stressed me the fuck out is, for example, there's people that I didn't really know there. Like I've now had enough social interaction for like the month because I had to interact with people I've never met before. But I'm going to read more of Gemina. I actually did read another 50 chapters. 50 chapters? No, there's no chapters in this. 50 pages. I was on 39 and I made it to 85 while waiting for my cousin to pick me up. Because I had to go help her beforehand, so I read that, and I'm going to read like another like 10 minutes of it. I don't really know. Well, first I'm going to change to pajamas because I'm absolutely like done with pants. I hate pants. I could live in shorts if somebody let me, but I have to wear pants. So I made it to page 104. This is a big chunky book, or 16% in, or that for reference, and I am loving it. And apparently dropping the camera. I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying to figure out how to word what I'm trying to think. So far, I do agree with what some people say, is that the plot and the characters do feel almost like a redone version of the first book, but I can see enough differences to still love it. I mean, again, I'm also only 100 pages in, so things could go very similar to that book, which I'd be okay with because I loved Illuminae. I really do like, I guess, two of our main characters of Hannah and Nick in here. I love the fucking hopeless flirting from Nick to Hannah. I am listening to this on like audiobook. I have the audiobook through Libby with the full cast. So put it this way, this is a series that without the audiobook and the physical book, I wouldn't be able to read it. But because of the audiobook and the physical book, I'm able to, and I do think that this will be like just as good as the first type thing. And my bookmark is there now, apparently. But yeah, I don't really have strong thoughts right now. I'm enjoying it. I'm honestly surprised I was able to read 100 pages today. But that is probably because I read for a total, like, because I read three different sections, and I just I just accidentally closed my tab on my computer, so now it's just my background. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm definitely excited to read more of this. Tomorrow's Friday, so I work, but then maybe Saturday and Sunday I might just try to binge read this. Like, I might just binge read this Saturday or something, because I think Sunday I'm doing something, but Saturday I might just binge read it for a few hours and try to make a big dent into it or something. I don't know. Or maybe even tomorrow night or something. I don't know. But I'm going to go jump into bed and continue reading The Wall of Ascension. My goal is like 15% of the book, I think. 15 to 20%. Although, I don't know how that's gonna go because I'm tired. Okay, so it's 7:38 and I just haven't picked up the camera today. Pretty much haven't done that much anyways. Last night I did read up to 13% of The Wall of Ascension, which isn't really where I wanted to, but I was just so tired and just so, like, I think I was just, like, emotionally exhausted that I went to bed like 2 hours earlier than I normally do, so that kind of cut into reading time, I guess. This morning, I ended up reading up to page 130 of Gemina, so I read about 20 pages-ish. 20-some pages this morning, because I just, like, wanted to read, and so I did. I edited tomorrow's video, which would have been 2 days ago for you now, my Saturday video for the 11th, and that is a Reading update. And that was very easy to edit, thankfully. But I'm going to change into pajamas and then continue reading Gemina, hopefully get a good chunk in, but then simultaneously also get a good chunk of The Wall of Ascension done. I am really liking The Wall of Ascension so far. Not that much has happened, but I mean, we're 13% into, I think the edition that my library has is like 800 pages. I need to double check. This book is, like, very large. It's like between 600 and 800 pages, something like that. So, like, not much is going to happen in the first chunk of that, but I'm going to go ahead and, again, change, get into comfier clothes, because I'm literally currently wearing jeans, which is the most uncomfortable thing in the planet for me, read, and then I'll let you know how I'm feeling about Gemina, because I don't really have that strong thoughts, except I'm really enjoying it. So I made it to page 185, so I read 55 pages, and it's now like 8:30, so that's not that bad for timing. But I just have to say that I am absolutely loving this. The audiobook is literally so good, because it's full cast and everything, just like the first one. So far, this is gonna sound absolutely insane, but my favorite character, I guess, is actually a analyst that, like, goes through, let me try to find an example of, like, there's a surveillance, like, because this is told in mixed media, so it's like you'll have random things like surveillance footage summary prepared by analyst ID 7213. Like, for example, that's the thing. I absolutely love this analyst. It's so funny. But then there'll also be, like, these, like, WhisperNet chats, which are, like, essentially, I'm guessing, almost like kind of like iMessage type thing. Or there'll be, I don't know, I'm just trying to find things like emails or just various things like that. I'm trying to flip through to see what else without, like, spoiling myself. But, like, there's those kind of things, and I used to be like, oh no, I would never read mixed media. But I do think it's because of the audiobook. I said this with Illumine. I think that it's because of the audiobook as to why I like it. With Illumine, without the audiobook, I DNF'd it. I DNF'd it with the ebook, but then I read the audiobook coincide with the physical book, and it was a 5-star, probably top 10 books of the year. One thing that I don't agree with what people say is a lot of people feel like it is like Illuminae but just recycled, and like isn't most of the time with a sequel to a book there are similar themes and similar kind of things in it because it's a series. Like I'm trying to figure out what I can say without spoilers. Essentially in Illuminae there was essentially this virus that infected people to make them almost kind of like zombies, and our main character was kind of trying to get away from them. In this, it's our main character trying to get away from these like criminals that kind of broke into the like space station. So like there's similar themes in that of like having to get away from the bad people. But that's like it's like they're similar, like some of the characteristics are similar, but like what do you expect really? I do say that so far, I was thinking this to myself like a few minutes ago, is like, it's a sequel, what do you expect? But also, I do think so far I do like Illuminae better. I am absolutely loving this, and if right now I had to give a rating, it would be 5 stars. I absolutely love it. Like my opinion could change as I read more, but 30% in, it's like a 5-star, absolutely loving it. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for tonight for this, but I do plan on reading a lot more tomorrow. I kind of want to maybe try to spend like 2-ish hours at least reading this, like 2 to 3 hours reading this, if I can find the time. So this is the first time I'm picking up the camera today. Last night I made it to 28% of 12th Ascension, and so far I'm not liking as much as I liked the first. But I do feel like I could like it more as the story goes. I'm not sure, like so far right now it's looking to be a 4-star. But it still could be that 5-star that I predicted it to be, I don't know. I also read for, I don't even know how long today, probably over 2 hours, because I made it to page 375 of Gemina, which is 190 pages. I kind of don't know how I did that. I think I read for like almost 3 hours. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock and I started reading about 4:30, so about 2.5 hours. And I don't get what people say of how this is almost like Illuminae repackaged, because it's almost better. I think pretty much my thoughts are just repeating of it's really good, I'm loving the story, I'm loving the characters, all of that. Things are kind of starting to get interesting. I mean, things have been interesting from the beginning, and there's a piece of my hair. But yeah, definitely really enjoying this. But I am going to actually end this video here because, again, it's 7 o'clock and I don't really plan on doing anything else today besides like crawling into bed and continue reading the 12th Ascension. I'd love to get it to 50%. I wanted to get it done by the end of this weekend, so like tomorrow, but there's no way in hell I'm reading the rest of the book, so my goal is maybe 70% by the end of the weekend. So I'm thinking maybe I can try to get to 50% tonight, 50% or more tonight, and then reach that 70% tomorrow. And then my goal is to get it done by like Tuesday, Wednesday. But you'll see kind of that in the next vlog, as well as you'll see my final thoughts and ratings on this in my next vlog, as well as a bunch of other things. So again, I'm going to end this vlog here, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I now need to figure out what I'm going to title this. I'm thinking of titling it a 5-star read, a DNF, and a few other books, because I had a 5-star read this week, a DNF this week, and then a couple other books that I've read. Well, haven't finished yet, but you get what I mean. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!